Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon if you're across the pond. But over here where I'm at, if you see it in my face, I just rolled out of bed, man. But we're gonna make this thing happen. We had to start a little early because we
Fresh
both
out of
working,
bed, man.
fresh out of bed. Let me tell you, man, last night was probably one of the worst nights of sleep I had in a while. I just could not stop thinking about that damn game yesterday, man. I could not think about this how we just imploded on the world stage again, man. But brother Tony, Claude, it is always good to have you here on the southern side, man. You know, when we made this, we were not thinking this was going to be what we were talking about. We had something else in mind to talk about, and here we are getting ready to talk about another blown season that's gone down the toilet, man. It is going down the toilet again.
Yeah.
We've done it again. We have done it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And,
Matt, I want to shout out everyone who is in the charts down here. It's not easy for you guys to just leave out what you're doing in the morning, in the afternoon, and just come up to the southern side and join us. Yeah. So big ups to everyone who have taken the time to, come and watch Brother Matt and me do our thing down here on the channel. See, and if you're a gooner down there, don't sit down quite sad. Just listen to great content and just try and just get off this mess, Mikel Arteta and Edu. I called it here, guys. I called it out here, Mikel Arteta and Edu. Nothing is going to happen. No one is going to whip me. They have been the biggest. They've managed to be right now the biggest bottle jobs in the Premiership history. Trust me. I've never seen anything like this before. See, Matt, in the January transfer window, me and you were here. We brought out cogent points. We talked about silent issues that Arsenal needs to address. At least by that January transfer window, we needed a competent CDM. Mind you, because when players come into the football club, and they have one or two good performances, we're all clouded in the whole judgment thing. Who told you that Jorginho is the best central defensive midfielder that Arsenal should have? So because he had a couple of good performances, then he's the best. I'm sorry, that is where we made all these mistakes and blew everything up. We ought to have brought in Ivan Ndika from Germany to come as a cover for Saliba. Where was that signing? Nowhere to be found. We needed, at the start of the season, we needed someone, a striker, in the mode of Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan. That guy who was tearing up Italy, the Italian Serie A. That guy. Vlahovic, where are the signings? It was good and okay to bring in Gabriel Jesus. I love the guy. I like the guy. He's a winner. It was part of the reason why I said that Arsenal was going to win the league this season. But is not enough. It isn't enough. He gets down injured, and guess who's spearheading our striking position for us? Yeah, you got it. You got it. And you know what? Yeah, when Eddie Nketiah was doing all this stuff, yeah, some guys came up, brought out some music, Nketiah in their room. You see, yeah,
Your
your
defense is in
defense is in
trouble.
trouble. Nketiah in the.
Trouble.
Oh my God! See, there should be a sequence, yeah, and a situation where people can be able to sue these guys, yeah. This is the biggest problem in Arsenal Football Club. I'm sorry, it's part of the fan base, yeah. I'm that kind of guy, yeah. I have a positive outlook when it comes to things, yeah, but not in the way and in the acrimonious manner Mikel Arteta and Edu carries the big cake for me. I've
Yeah.
managed to destroy the season. How do you go from 11 points ahead of Man City? No one does that in the league, yeah? To 8 points, to 5 points, and then we managed to just, oh
Yeah.
my God, Matt, man. These are things that, see, it shouldn't be conceived by any Arsenal fan. And trust me, no Arsenal fan should go through this, man. No Arsenal fan should go through this.
No.
This was the season, yeah, that many other Arsenal fans actually said, you know what, yeah, these guys are playing quite well. I've actually seen lots of Arsenal fans that were always in the middle, always in the middle. I won't call it negative because the club are put us through that. They're not negative fans. The people who have seen a lot of things, the PTSD they're having, the traumatic experience will make them to be quite neutral every season that we play because they know that in the last 10 games of the season that will bottle it. They know this. I
Yep.
try having that, that positive atmosphere, positive environment, mostly in my channel, yeah. But Mikel Arteta and his cohorts and Edu have managed to make it implode right in my face. It's a
Tony, I
shock.
want you to see this.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
It's
It's a
bad.
disgrace,
I
man.
want you to
It's a
see this.
disgrace.
Look at this form table. Look at this form table. This is up until now. Look at where we are. This is the form we're in. This was the form we were in. I preached this a couple weeks ago on Lee's channel. The form table does not lie. The form table does not lie. This is literally where just about everybody who's off where their form is right now. And we've had several teams here that's down here where we are. We couldn't get over the line. And then you go back, we'll go all the way back. We'll just go all the way back a couple of weeks. Let's go back to week 17 and let's see where we were.
Yeah.
Look at that. Way up at the top. So we go from up here at the top.
Oh my
This is match day 17, all the way till we get right down here to the end of the year. And then look where we are. And then you have to ask yourself. You ask yourself, what is going on at this football club? What is going on at this football club? Huh? What is going on? What is going on, Tony? We have people who have sat here. They have sat here and they have allowed this second place deal to become basically an excuse. It's becoming an excuse. I was up last night. I heard some guy on Talk Sport was saying that this season has been a success. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I'm gonna frame it. I'm gonna frame this for my people. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Good morning for everybody in the chat.
Good morning, Anthony. Anthony Herbert just came into the chat.
Yep,
Big up to you, Mr. Tom. Big ups.
Carl.
Arsenal forever. Big ups.
Everybody.
Michael Hearn. Big ups to you. Carl Rossi. Big ups to you guys. Big
I'm
ups
gonna
to you.
frame this. Let me frame this. If we were in 5th place and we finished in 2nd place, that's a success. I can get behind that. But to be 8 points clear, Tony.
11 at
8
some point.
points clear.
11 at some point.
11 at one point. 11 at one point. At one point, we were clear. We were cruising. We were cruising just like the Night Rider, like the kid on Night Rider going through the canyon. We were just rolling. And then
We're rolling, man.
here we go. Capitulation FC. And then to watch them go down yesterday without even trying, that was the most scandalous part. That I mean, just to lay down and get their tummies rubbed. I mean, it was absolutely the most scandalous display. And then, I watched the manager. I've watched the manager all year. I've tried not to slaughter him. I've tried to,
Yeah, you
this.
have a very
Me and
keen
you,
interest in the
yeah,
manager because of his
me and you have
performance.
had off the camera discussions, and you've
Mm.
heard me say I'm trying not to go in because I'm trying to be patient with him. But the same thing showed up again this year. It's the
Same
same novice
mistakes.
behavior. Same novice behavior. And yes, I realize that it's simple. Some folks see success differently, but this is what people have to get out of the idea of, Tony. People have to get out of this idea of we're going to be. See, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. People are thinking that we're going to come right back next year and do this again next year. And the reality is we don't have the squad to do that. We don't have the squad to do
We
it.
don't have the squad. You mean a squad that can't even face Brighton and beat them at home?
Yeah.
Matt, what kind of land are we living in? Are we living in La La Land right now? This squad can't even beat Brighton. And people see, yeah, yesterday, yeah, of course, I didn't do any shows on my channel because I felt, see, yeah, I felt down. I
Yeah.
felt down. Every Arsenal fan should be fuming at what happened yesterday. It's a disgrace. In fact, that's the most disgraceful piece of football I've ever seen in my whole life. That year was one of the, I'll repeat it again. That game yesterday, yeah, was one of the most disgraceful and atrocious. The beatings we had, against Man City were even better. This one, there was no fight, no will, no grit. You know that Man City have Brentford. There's a chance Brentford can actually go and nick one over Manchester City. You know that Brighton Football Club can at least put up a fight against Man City. And then it comes down to you that you should be showing the fight, you should be showing the desire. I talked about this with a friend of mine, Anthony Herbert. It is in the charts, of course, in Jez's chat page on Instagram. And we're talking. And he said, Anthony, this is not a good matchup. And I said, you know what? Yeah, this is even more than not a good match. It's a disgrace. Yeah. And again, in the championship, because he alluded to the championship, yeah. And I said, you know what? Yeah, that match yesterday, no fight, no desire, no willingness to play. Even more championship teams are even more better in structuring in the way they play, in the whole atmosphere of the whole thing. Most championship teams will give a more better account of themselves than Arsenal Football Club did yesterday. You know what? Yeah, I hate to be the brink of sad news. Yeah, I've always supported Mikel Arteta all through the season. Matt, you know this. They assembled. He knows this. I've been a big supporter of this guy. Not because I like how he looks like. I don't know this guy. Yeah, I don't care how he looks like. It's just because I felt that Arsenal, was at a place that we needed to build. We needed a project. We had to build. And of course, this club has been decayed for a long time. So I did feel that, okay, we need a coach that would at least build the team. And I gave a mandate. He has to win the league this season. It's a must. I demand it. And seeing how we played and seeing some matadors we brought in from Manchester City, at least I knew that, okay, good. If we add these guys to the crop of young guys that we did have, it would be a good season for us. Good. They hit the ground running. They were playing. See, an inquest needs to be made into how Zinchenko, one of the best players that has played for Manchester City, see, his success there can still be, it can still be, questionable in a way. Maybe with his appearances there, I don't know. But what I just know is that he's a multiple winner with Manchester City. It comes down to Arsenal Football Club. How come that in the second half of this season, Zinchenko, that has been one of the most consistent players at the start of the season, comes in and turns up and becomes one of the most shocking players to ever play in the league in the second half? How come? It all boils down to the coaching. if you check it, it boils down to the coaching.
Well, Tony, he goes. What happens is everybody, even Stevie Wonder could see that he was not capable of playing left back, especially on that bad run of form we were on. Going back to really, man, if y'all really want to, because I set up last night and I watched a lot of video. I went back and watched a lot of me and Lee's videos and stuff last night. Y'all really want to know when this started? This started back when we lost 3-1 to City at home back in February. This is we really, this is when it really started. You started to see signs of things starting to go bad, and that was ironically not too far removed from the transfer window. But what you've got, man, is you've got a situation where Arteta, as I stated this over and over and over. He never knew his strongest 11. He never knew how to make tactical changes when pressure is on. What he did, like yesterday, was a classic example. I don't know if people caught this yesterday, but did you see the transfer? Not transfer, excuse me. The substitutions. What kind of formation what were we running yesterday afternoon? What was that we were doing yesterday?
I didn't even know. The formation was horrible. It's a horror show, a horror movie.
Yeah, you just throwing people out there, just throwing stuff around. And it's just, you sit there and you look at this, and this is why I have to get real with people, because we get to a stage now where it's no longer people can hold their tongue. I can't do it another season. I'll just have to tell people the reality is I'm going to be the type of person that's going to tell you like it is. Either you like it or you don't, and if you don't, then that's cool. You got thousands of other challenges you can go watch. But I'm going to tell you like it is. This is what's going to happen. We play Celtic this year, who we scuffle with in the Europa League, who will be in the Champions League next year. We played Juventus C team in December and scuffle against them. We played Sporting Lisbon, put out on penalties. Bigger fish to fry. We'll get to that in a little bit later on. And here we are once again talking about going to this Champions League, and then you got people saying, well, we would have finished, top 4 in Champions League is where we want to be. But I'm telling you, look at this team. This team is not fit to compete in the Champions League. We're not fit. We're not fit enough. We don't have the quality.
We'll get battered in the Champions League if we go like this, man. We'll be beaten 13-0 at PSG. See, we might be beaten literally like 14-0 in Bayern Munich. See, it's true. Don't see it, guys in the chat. Don't laugh this off. We can get beaten 14-0 in Bayern Munich next season when we play in the Champions League. It's a call. This is a clarion call. We can literally be beaten next season 9-0 in Bayern Munich. If this continues, there has to be a stop on it. Either the coach goes, or there's a tweak. Something needs to happen. I don't want to be the person that will bring bad news and say Arteta must go. If he has to go, let him go. Something needs to be tweaked down here. Yeah, something needs to be tweaked. Brother Matt. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, my brother. But look here, see, Matt, we have a 35-year-old Portuguese player who went into the transfer window and got for about 35 million pounds.
We talked about that. We talked about that,
brother. Man. That's big money, man. That's big money in European standards, yeah. For a kid who hasn't gotten anything, yeah, who doesn't have the pedigree, is a young player, yeah. Good. It comes into Arsenal, and you can see this guy doesn't even know his left from his right. It's a shambles. Good, it's his first season. We'll see him next season, yeah? Good and okay. We have Eddie Nketiah who is on 100 quid a week. Guys, just let that sink in. 100 a week.
Yeah.
And can't score goals. And can't even score a goal. A Premiership goal in like about 15 games. Is that a Premiership player? And yet we will keep singing Nketiah in the room. Are you serious? Are you serious now? Are you serious now?
Tony, we said right. You had.
Me, brother Matt. We have Leandro Trossard, who was the player of the month for March and didn't start a game in April. See, man, I have supported Mikel Arteta. Oh, true. I've been a true Arsenal fan.
Tony,
I've supported this guy.
Don't forget,
there
brother.
Should be a tweak. There must be a tweak. There should be an inquest into what happened. I don't know. It's a disgrace what happened to be beaten by the Seagulls at home. Brother Matt, at home. Does this hurt you the way it hurts me, man?
Yeah, of course.
Does this
But
hurt
see,
you?
Tony, I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't hurt me as well.
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you why I'm kind of calm about it.
oh,
It's because I saw it coming. I saw it 6 weeks ago, Tony. I was
you
telling
did.
y'all.
You
I was
you
telling
did. You
y'all.
did. You saw it. You
The
saw it coming.
prophecy.
You
It
did.
was written. It was written. The prophecy was written on the scrolls. I saw it. I saw it. Arsenal shall lose. Arsenal shall capitulate. I saw this. I saw the scripture. I read it out loud. I told folks, I said, we did not do what we need to do in that transfer window. I told you, I said, Salcedo should have been the highest priority. That you're trying when you buy players like Salcedo in the transfer window, you're trying to win. That at least would have said, okay, we're getting in this thing. No, we're gonna pay 90 million for Mudryk. We were almost about to pay 90 million for Mudryk. Could you imagine getting Mudryk right now? And you spent that money? This is why I've said time and time again, Edu has to be relieved of his post. He has to go. Him and Garlic. I've been saying that since January. Well, technically, I've been saying it since last transfer window, since the first transfer window, when you bought Vieira for $35 million. Well, we hadn't seen him. This is what I'm saying. We're buying players, but we're buying players we can't use, and they don't factor in. They don't factor in. Trossard was so far off yesterday, and people are going to say, well, Trossard stuck it up. And yeah, he did. He stuck it up. I'm going to tell you why he stuck it up. Because the man was on a roll, and you pulled him out of the lineup.
Pulled him out of the role.
And so now his form is dipped.
For psychology. What does it do for psychology? Someone that was tearing up things in the month of March, and then suddenly you rip him away, rip him apart, don't give him a start. See, man, Arteta, I came to the conclusion yesterday, yeah, guys, because I've been an Arteta supporter. I won't lie to you, because I'm all up for giving people chances. But he blew it away, man. He blew it away. Someone said, yeah, that wait until we get to the Champions League, we'll get humiliated. Michael Hearn, we're not getting humiliated in the Champions League. We're getting blown off the atmosphere in the Champions League. If, see, there's a caveat there, yeah? If we don't do what we have to do in the summer. And you see, yeah, Matt, yeah? See, Matt, this is where I want to take you, yeah? I want to take you to the brighter side, yeah? But in this brighter side, yeah, it also comes with a caveat also, because it could also be the dark side also. So I'll take you to the dark side, yeah? See, a big club like Arsenal Football Club, after bottling the biggest league that they should have won in history, yeah? This is the biggest bottle job. In history, this is the biggest bottle job. And guess what? Arsenal is in the back end of the first bottle job, second bottle job, and the third bottle job in history. This is it, yeah? This bits the lot. Good and okay. Good. You know, yeah, last season you came fifth. This season, second. Good and okay. But look, big teams, what do when there's something that stops them from winning the league, yeah? They go into the transfer market, even if the league hasn't ended, and start. You know what they're doing, yeah? They're buying players. Barcelona have already brought in players. They've identified more players to come in. Yeah? They're sending out legends away from the football club. Jordi Alba is leaving. Xavi said, you won't play here again.
Busquets out of there.
Busquets is already gone. They know they're leaving. They're going, brother man. They're going. This is no prophecy of doom. They're going, and they already know the players that they want. They already bringing in players already as we speak. Right now, Arsenal Football Club coming out from the biggest bottle job ever. We still haven't signed. See, forget what you hear in the news. Yeah, forget what you hear in the news. Bukayo Saka hasn't signed a new deal at Arsenal Football Club. If you say he has agreed a deal, if you say he has signed to the football club, show me the papers. I need to see the papers. Come with the receipts if you're telling me that Bukayo Saka has already signed for the football club. I need to see the papers. I need to see the receipts. See, we have one of the biggest defenders in this league, as we know. William Saliba, Arsenal. Arsenal hasn't tied this guy up to a new deal. What is the problem? This is the time that you have to be resigning these players into new deals. Okay, good and okay. Maybe I'm complaining too much. Maybe I'm that gooner that expects too much. Yeah, good. Scratch that. Throw that away. Throw into the bean, brother man. Let's come into the bigger picture. Yeah, the bigger picture. Brother, did you see Caicedo? in the
Yeah,
matchup yesterday.
that's what 90 million. You know, I don't know if you saw my
Did
fan
you
cam
see
release.
my say though in the
Hey,
matchup yesterday?
hey,
I'll allow
hey,
you to talk about that,
hey,
man.
I don't know if
I
you
just
saw.
allow you to talk about that.
I don't know if you saw my fan cam with Lee yesterday, but I said, you know, that's what $90 million gets you. But guess what? Yesterday's price is not today's price. So guess what you get ready to pay? You get ready to pay more money than what you could have gotten for in January. Arsenal do stupid stuff like that. We do stupid stuff like that. Now we're gonna be paying 2 times. If Arsenal pays $120 million for Declan Rice, if they pay $120 million for Declan Rice, I will come right back on and we will have another discussion about Edu. This guy, I'm telling you, man, this guy, it goes all the way back. It goes all the way back. Let's just use the track record. And I'm going to address this what's on the screen in just a second, too. Let's look at this. First things first. Last season, we reward Eddie Nketiah for scoring 6 goals. We give him $100,000 plus the number 14 shirt. Then we signed Vieira for 35. I think it was 35 million. If TJ's in the chat, TJ get my numbers right on that. I think it's 35 million. Then on top of that,
big ups TJ, the American idiot. Big ups to you, my brother. Big ups to you.
We get Tony Barnes in the building. We get Luca. We in the building. We're gonna hook up soon, Luca. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have a treat for y'all today on the show. If just everybody stick around. But you've got who else did we get? Who else did we get in August? I think that was it. We had Vieira and I can't remember now. It was somebody else. Well, you know, Jesus, and I don't count Jesus in them. It's Zinchenko because those were Arteta type signings. So that was basically he worked that deal. Then you get to January, and then this is where, because I sat here for over a month, December during the World Cup, we was cutting videos, we were all just discussing the transfer window, we were looking at options, we were breaking this thing down. Me and Tony had charts, we had numbers, we had figures, cash, all this stuff. We were breaking it down, and then we sat right here and we watched on that last day, and we brought in Trossard, which is a good player, and then you bring in Kivior, who was down there yesterday tying his shoe up in the middle of a game that gets you're in the title race. That's what we will get. A man bent over tying his shoe in a massive game. That's the same thing that William Gallas did, looking for a down contact. Y'all remember that? Looking for a contact. Let's go over here to this on the screen. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta wasn't ready to win the title, but his project is still on schedule. What is this project talk, man? 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, Tony. Four.
Nothing.
Talk about a project.
Nothing.
A project. The project is banned because you were in a title race. You were ahead of schedule. Meaning that if you're ahead of schedule, but we need to do what we need to do so we can stay where we at.
Exactly.
And we have sat here this year. We have wasted a golden opportunity. A golden opportunity. We've wasted it. We have sat here and wasted another opportunity. If you was to close your eyes, excuse me, if you were all was to close your eyes, and I didn't tell you we were in second place, and I told you this was last year, it would be the same exact thing. We've done the same exact thing we did last year, y'all. The same exact thing. We've bottled it. We bottled it the year before last. We were in 8th place the year before that. The only difference is we're in second place, and so people are using second place as a scapegoat. Oh, well, it's second place. No, but we've been doing the same thing for 4 years. We can't get over the hump. When you can't get over the hump, there's only one person to start looking at. That's the manager. This is why I have held the position that we should, if you're going to get this man, we should have gotten him from a championship or somewhere else. Look at my man that was sitting in the stadium yesterday. Look what he did with his team down in the championship. Look at him. He was there yesterday. You know what I'm talking about?
Vincent Kompany.
Look at him. He started from the bottom. He's got a trophy before. He's got a league trophy before Mikel Arteta. He's got a league trophy. And then you look at our manager. And he not one time earlier this year that he said, you know what? We're going to be going for this title this year. He never put the sense of urgency into the team, to the players, Tony. You never saw him come out and say, well, yeah, we're going to go hard. We're going to win this title. We're going to all hands on deck. We know what we need to do. Let's get the job done. It was always meek, humble, and May. Oh, well, we're going to do what we need to do. They really didn't start talking about the title, honestly, until after we were starting to have the Chase City. That's when you started hearing talk about an actual title race. They downplayed it the whole time. When you downplay something, that's like you said earlier, psychology. It's the psychology of the game that we struggle with. Mentality. You look over at Pep. You think Pep is not sitting in that room telling them that, hey, we're going to go challenge for these titles. I watched his interviews the last week, Tony, and I'm gonna let you take over. I watched his interview last week, the last couple weeks. It is the mind games that this man has played is some of the best I've seen. To come out, Arsenal's gonna win all 3 games. He said that. He said Arsenal's gonna win all 3 games. Yeah,
and we gobbled it. We took it all in.
Yeah. I just this project talk. I don't hear anything about phase 5, all this stuff. We're past that, Arsenal. It is time out for foolishness. The foolishness has to stop. It has to stop. Anthony Burton, my question with regard to the January transfer window. What in the hell was Arsenal doing during the World Cup? They had all the downtime.
Someone said it here in the chart.
This is exactly what we talked about, Tony. We talked about this. We talked about it. We wasted time. It was haggling. Me and Ola. We talked about this Friday.
That's the word.
Saturday. Haggling. We haggle. It's all we do when it comes down to business. We're probably haggling right now before the window open. Let me tell you something, Tony. I'm going to turn it back over to you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
When this June transfer window open up, Arsenal needs to have their transfer business done within 3 weeks. I'm gonna say it again. Do not come to the United States with the same team that we had this year, and there's no new signings by the time y'all get here in July. Yeah, otherwise, I'm gonna be at the port, and I'm gonna tell them to send you. I'm gonna tell them to turn y'all ass right back around and go back over to the UK. Don't come back unless you got some players.
Fact. Big ups to DWTT, our brother. He's also a brother to Mart, yeah. He's in the show, yeah. Big ups to you. Welcome to the show. The Assembled, big ups to you. Table Sen, big ups. Tony Barra, big ups to you. Yeah, Matt, yeah. See, you've just brought out something that Arsenal needs to do right now, not even the next 2 months. It's right now. I expect to see Arsenal tying up deals for Caicedo. I saw someone in the chat, yeah. This thing, it breaks my head when I see this type of things, yeah. Caicedo, Declan Rice. We should bring one out of them. See, what about bringing the 2 of them?
Yeah, you read my mind. I was going to say, what
about bringing the 2 of them? No, wait. Let's think about this. Pause first. Let's think about this, brother Matt, yeah. Do you still want to see Granit Xhaka in this football club?
So, listen, let me say this. Granit Xhaka, they should give him a card at the end of the season. They should have the team sign a card. The janitors, everybody, nice card. Hey, man, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
We're going to, whatever team you want to go to, we'll try to get you there. But it's time to go. It's time to go.
It's time to go. You had a good season by your standards this season.
It took 7 years. It took 7 years.
It's time to go.
Yeah, time to go.
See, we're not even looking at the bigger picture. We still have Mohamed El Neni, who was given a 1-year contract.
Needs to be sold.
Leeching the football club. Completely leeching out of the football club.
Yeah.
And this guy hasn't even kicked football.
Can I throw something your way, Tony? Can I throw something your way?
Football. What else? Why are you giving this guy a deal? He hasn't played this season.
Hey,
what is going on here?
$300,000 for soccer. Mesut Ozil, anybody? Look at his form. See, a lot of people aren't talking about it. This is why I say I don't care what people think about what I say. He stunk it up the last 3 months of this season. He was unsubbable by Mikel Arteta's standards. $300,000 for that. $300,000. That's what they're talking about.
It's shocking, man. Guys, I'm sorry. Characteristically, this is not how I am usually, man. But all coercion goes out the window. It goes out the window after what I watched yesterday. All out the window. There is no gentlemanism in this one again. Yep. It's a goddamn war. Because how can Brighton see guys, yeah, let this sink in. How can Brighton come to the Emirates and disgrace us like that, man? See, every Arsenal fan, and I see people getting on the fans who walked out of the club yesterday. I don't know. Someone I respected also, I was watching his show with Lee. He said it was a disgrace that, those guys walked out. But I'm sorry, man. Why would someone want to see Arsenal lose the way they did against Brighton Football Club? Of all people, Brighton humbled this guy's 5-1. Why should I? And bro, see, Arsenal tickets are one of the most expensive.
They just went up Friday. That's what I told Ola Saturday. They just hiked the price for y'all Saturday.
Meal ticket to watch Arsenal Football Club, and then that is what he gets. It's shocking. It's shocking, and it's enough to walk. It's enough to walk here. If it is me, I will walk out the stadium. I'm sorry. I will walk out because I didn't pay money to go see Brighton beat me up 3-0. It brings deja vu of being beaten by Bayern Munich 8-1, 9-1, 6-1, going to the ATR, being battered there 5-4-1. All these things, yeah. It wells up to a crescendo that many Arsenal fans can't take it no more. So, I don't know to what extent we're going to take this, but El Neni, bye. Granit Xhaka, bye. Once you get all this Edin Ketia off,
Vieira,
all these guys, yeah. See, brother Matt, yeah. Haven't you thought about this? How come Edin Ketia was left to stay at Arsenal, and then we had Balogun tearing up the French League on right as we speak. It's probably maybe the 3rd, 4th highest goal scorer this season for a club called what? Guess what? Guess where that club is? Guess what's the name of the football club?
I can't think of the name of it.
Reims. It's not even PSG. Yeah. So because if you say, it was in PSG, he had people around him, right? That'll be the argument from some Arsenal fans. He had people around him feeding him the ball. In Reims, that's where he is. Tearing up the French League on. And yet, we couldn't play that guy. It's surplus to requirement at Arsenal. But Mohamed El Neni is not surplus to requirement. Edin Ketia is not surplus to requirement in the football club. Getting 100 a week in this football club. But man, I think we're smoking bush. And that bush, I think we're smoking bush. We are smoking bush.
Anthony brought up a great point. $160 million on transfer. This is why when I hear people say, well, Cronkey, they're not spending any money. They're spending money. What are they spending money on? That's the question that needs to be asked. What is the money? Where is the money being spent? Are y'all spending that kind of money on 5 players we can't use, or are you spending on 2 that we definitely need? That's what needs to be asked around here. This is why I said Edu for me. And Gary, I'm behind a little bit in the chat, but good morning, everybody. This is why I said, Gary, Tony. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ready for 7:30 tonight. But this is why I said we need to look at Edu, and we need to if Edu is the problem, if Arteta's sending in the list and Edu's coming back with something else, it needs to be called out. This is why I say I've said this too. They're all one of the same. If you're going to get rid of Kroenke, you got to get rid of everybody else because they're all one of the same. They're all in this together. They're all in it together.
For some reason, I have pity for the Kroenkes. They've put up the cash. They've stumped up the cash.
Over $500 million.
They stumped up the cash. And again, it still boils back down to them. Yeah, it goes back down to them. You were the one that put Edu in that position. You catapulted this guy to the position of a sporting director. In history, Arsenal has never had a sporting director ever. And then you promote Edu to sporting director. What is he sporting directing? He's a failure as it is. It's a failure. He hasn't done anything for the. Just give me one person that he has brought into this football club that has torn it up totally. None. It's average players. See, man, it's all a shambles.
Look at this right here. Look at this.
It's all a shambles, man. It's all a shambles.
Look at this right here. Look at this. 0 trophies, 15 trophies bottled, 3 European exits at home. Bottled an 8-point lead. No European football in decades. No Champions League in decades. Worst Arsenal side in history. $500 million spent. 3 rebuild. He's rebuilt the team 3 times. People forget that too. 4 seasons. Nothing but failure. Nothing but failure. The standards have dropped at this football club. Back when Wenger was here, people were calling him a special failure, and we were still qualifying for Champions League left and right. Exactly. We were getting the quarterfinals and semifinals in the Champions League. This man here has not done a damn thing since the pandemic, and we're 4 years removed from that. He has got kicked out. We have gotten our asses kicked in every single European competition, and that brings us back to this fish. They told us that we had bigger fish to fry, and that it was all in our hands. You know the language, the lingo, and here we are. We don't have anything to show for it. We don't have anything to show for it, Tony. Tony, it's like you going to college, and then you go to college, and then we're not going to give you a degree. Well, what am I here for?
What am I here for? It's for that degree.
Yeah, you need the paperwork. We need the trophy. We need the trophy. And Gary's right. You might only see me if we get transfers and quality. Let me just say that. I'm not coming up there just because we got transfer. We got quality transfers. If we're going to the Champions League, I expect Champions League caliber players. That's my expectation. I don't want to hear anything about projects. 1 for the future, 2 for the future, 3 for the future. I want to hear nothing about none of that. I want to hear we've signed this player. He is of Champions League pedigree. He's a player that has won multiple trophies and can get us over the line. I don't need any more bench players that start. I'm going to say this, Tony. We need players, and I said this to Ola Saturday. We need players that are better than the players we have and can challenge the players that are on our team. And all the players should be put on notice that your position is up for grabs.
It's up for grabs. That's a very interesting point. Right now, Bukayo Saka's position in that team is godlike. It's godlike. If this guy is not having a good game in 5-6 matches, it's still being thrust in. Why? Because you know why? This is the reason, because we failed to bring in a like-for-like replacement for Bukayo Saka in the summer. That's the problem. Haggling prices with people like Rafinha. Rafinha would have loved this project. Do you think he didn't want to come to Arsenal? Many of these guys want to come to Arsenal, but because we want to haggle with the prices, we want some cheap stuff. We haggle with everything. Caicedo should have been here battling with his brothers in arms at Arsenal, but we haggled with the price. And right now, trust me, if Arsenal is going back to get Caicedo after that beautiful performance he put up at the Emirates yesterday, Arsenal will have to pay at least 140 million. Even if we're giving a Brighton £100 for Caicedo, we have to be giving a player in exchange. Maybe someone like Smith Rowe. That's how bad it is. That's how bad. That's how horrible the story is. It's a gory story, like from a page from the horror movie Annabelle. This is what we have to go through.
Yeah.
It's a horror show. But Matt called it the other time when I came to the show. He said something very interesting. He said Arsenal were meant to fry the bigger fish this season. Yeah. But we're going to fry the bigger fish, but we had no oil.
no seasoning, no oil, no pan, nothing.
Brother, we had no oil in the pan to fry the bigger fish. There was no oil, no players. The players we brought a horrible show. They couldn't even do anything. Even Mikel Arteta, yeah. Look, you see, yeah, Matt, yeah, because you kept talking about Mikel Arteta, yeah. It's tactical awareness, yeah. It is technical awareness of the game. He doesn't read the game properly in any way. He doesn't. The changes yesterday, horror show. Even the first 11 they put out, yeah. Thomas Partey is fit on the bench, yeah. Why isn't he playing? Yeah, Jorginho had good performances. Yeah, good and okay, but he's there as a big part player, right? Yeah. Why can't Partey, who's our strongest midfielder, why can't he come and start up in that game? Why? Why? Trossard, they had a Trossard. Let's play in March. No
It just
start in
never
April.
plays. Yeah.
Why didn't he start that football match? And you know what, Matt? He ended up actually starting the match in another way.
Yeah.
Martinelli getting injured, hobbled off. Now we've not talked about that one. Martinelli,
he's another one.
Might not be the same.
Yeah, he's another one that you need to look at. He's spotty. Like I said, we got players, man. We've got players that every player on this team position needs to be on notice. On notice. Because we have got to get better quality in this team. I want to bring this up. A simple. I see a problem coming. Soccer, $300,000 rumored wages, and can't see $100,000 a week. That's $400,000. When you hear $400,000 in the team, you think you got Serge Gnabry and what's the brother's name that starts with an M that played for Bayern Munich? Musala. You thinking you got world class play Musiala. You got world class players in the team. You think you have $400,000. No, we got Eddie Nketiah and Saka. We can play without both of them. Look at our defense without Saliba. This is another issue. This goes back to the January transfer window. Arsenal are going to try to pay him less than Saka. Absolutely. They'll probably they'll throw an $80 million deal out there for him, $75 million, and then he'll go up right on over there to Real Madrid or somewhere, and then he'll get sorted out. That's another issue. We'll get to that. We'll probably get to that on a postseason show. It's some of these deals that need to get sorted out.
Matt, me and you have to do transfer window.
We're gonna do transfer. We're gonna be doing
guys.
We're gonna be doing a transfer show at least once a week over in the summer. So you might as well just get ready. So we're gonna keep the foot on that throat when it comes to the transfer window. Want to get to this other question right quick. Let me see here. And brother Chike says, question.
Chike, big up to you. Yep. That's my Nigerian brother.
Yes,
big
sir.
Up to you, Chike.
Chike says, question, Matt. Will Manchester City go through at home versus Real Madrid in the second leg of the semifinal and go to the final, which will be on his birthday? I think Real Madrid will win this game, and I think they will win it either 1-0 or 2-1. It's going to be one of the two. But I just it's a different type of pedigree when it comes to Real Madrid in the Champions League. They're just a completely different team. And then we're also going to find out. We'll also find out where City is mentally after this weekend, because they are they going to look at it as, oh well, we got this, or we won the league now. They're going to put foot off the brake, or we'll find out. I'll tell you I can tell you the easiest way you'll find out who's going to win first 20 minutes of the game tomorrow. If Real Madrid comes out with urgency, then they're probably gonna win it. But I'll tell you, and I'll say this too, Chike. If Man City loses that game tomorrow, they are going to go out and they're going to splash the cash on big time players to win that Champions League. Big time players, and it's going to be woe to us in the league. It's going to be another case that we got to sit right here and deal with this crap again next year. Mind you, we hadn't beaten them in 12 games. I just want people to realize we hadn't beat that team in 12 games. 12 games.
And brother Matt, we seem to be forgetting, it's just Man City we're talking, the cash with those guys right now. Those guys are ready to go into the transfer window and bring in players. That's for sure. So we'll be contending with that next season. And you know what? They have the resources to do that right now. Not just the resources, but they have the coach The manager, the pedigree, the manager who owns who has the pedigree to do that. Unai Emery is coming. Even Smith Rowe wants to jump ship. He wants to go to Aston Villa next season, yeah, to go and meet the coach who gives him a head start in the Premier League. Good. Push that away. Newcastle. Do you think Newcastle are going to rest on the laurels?
Absolutely not.
No, they're going into the transfer window, looking on becoming beasts down there, yeah? Going out for big players. At least you've heard the kind of caliber of players that they're looking for, yeah? Nima. You heard that name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking for those kind of players, yeah? And these guys, they have unlimited wealth. Not the kind of money that our billionaire have in our football club, but this type of money is that one that, it's an unending stream of money. These guys will go into the market and bring in players. So if anyone thinks that Arsenal stands a chance without, there's a caveat there. There's a big caveat. Without going into the transfer window and splashing the cash, yeah? What I mean by splashing the cash, I don't mean just go throw it away like Chelsea Football Club is doing. No. I mean, go in there with a transfer plan. Go get me 2 defenders so you don't get into that disappointment that we got to this season. And mind you, we're going for the bigger fish, right? We have to fry the bigger fish, right? Champions League, the bigger fish, right? So we have to have oil to fry that bigger fish. We need 2 defenders, central defenders, 1 left back. Because as for me, Kieran, then he might be leaving. He's not down for this shit. He might be leaving the football club. Then to leave us with only Zini down there as the first choice left back who will be there for us. It's a horrible story, yeah. Horrible one. So we need another left back, whether we like it or not. Yeah, good. We need 2 midfielders. We don't want 1, 2. Because Granit Xhaka might be leaving for Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, he's always off to Germany. He can't be here again. He has to go. He has to go. He has to go. So if he's going, good and okay. We need a Caicedo. And I don't want to hear this crap that we cannot have Caicedo and Declan Rice together. We can. We're a big club. Yeah. We spend the biggest money in tickets. Yeah. In England. That's a fact. We can go in and bring in Caicedo. Good. And bring in a Declan Rice. 200 has covered this. 200 has covered this with players going out the other way. Why do we have all these other, all these other players that don't even do anything at the football club? They're there being liches in that football club and nothing has been said. We need a backup goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
Ramsdale is too comfortable. Brother Matt shouted this out the other time.
He can't stop penalty kicks. He needs to work on that now in the summer.
Matt, you've said a lot of things, yeah, that it's just like you, John the Baptist, yeah? You're just like that prophet, yeah, that foretold all these things, and it's all happening right in our eyes. You foretold these things.
I saw a seal. Hey, Tony, I saw a seal open. I saw it.
You saw all these things. You saw all this, everything we're talking about now. Brother Matt here, he saw everything. He talked about everything. Ramsdale is too comfortable in that position. Too comfortable for my liking. The mistake, just look at the mistake, look at that orchestration of mistake yesterday from no other person than Ramsdale, who coincidentally had his 25th birthday yesterday. That's the cake he gives to Arsenal on his 25th birthday. Can you imagine? But a math, I have to go.
Yeah. I know you got to go to work to make $1. We're going to be doing a transfer show during the summer, so just go ahead and book it. We'll be doing one. Or either it will be weekly or bi-weekly, but we're going to be talking these transfers during the summer. We're not going to just wait all the way and see. No, we're going to be putting pressure on. The foot will be on the throat. Tony, I know you got to scoot out of here. I just dropped it. If anybody wants to jump on for a little while, I'm going to be here for a few extra minutes. If you want to come up and have a talk with me, man, we can talk about this season, get you, let some steam off. You're more than welcome to do so. Tony, I want to say thank you for coming through this morning and chatting it up, bro. It's always fun to have you around, man.
It's always fun, man. It's always fun. See, guys, you can actually join me on Tony Cloud Gunner TV. That's my channel. The name you see here is the name I use on YouTube. Brother Matt has been a very, very big inspiration to me, and he's been a big brother and friend since I've known him, and me and him have collaborated on many things. And see, next season, because next season we need people who come out and say the truth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's going to
So
take. A lot of that. Yeah.
Next season, it's going to take a lot of that. We'll call it as it is. When Arsenal was winning, I was urging them on the season. People that know me here, they assembled everyone that knew me here. They knew I was all up for that team. Yeah. If you're winning, I give you the credit. If you do anything crazy, you're on that chopping block. That's me. No time for pretense. Yeah. And that's who Brother Matt is also. So, Brother Matt, thanks for the opportunity for allowing me to come down here and have a good chat with you down here. And we're going to be doing more of this. People in the chat are up to 20 today. That's a big one, man.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. Join me on Tony Cloud Gunner TV, and also next season, me and Brother Matt. See, we'll have lots of content for you.
Yeah.
I have to talk to him to know. But definitely, we're having the summer transfer show. We have to have that one. Yeah, we'll talk about all these transfers. We bring in rumors and what's really going on down there, and we'll talk about it. We might do one in my channel and one on his channel. We'll just talk about it and see how we go about that. So big ups to everyone. Thank you for being in the chat
today. Yes, sir, man.
And big ups. I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Appreciate it, brother. Have a good one, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a lot of work to do here at Arsenal. We're in major trouble. We're in major trouble. It's quite sad, man, because we saw this coming, man. If you've been following me over on Lee's channel, Jez's, across the internet webs, you saw it. Even Gary tell you, I've been saying it to him in private that I just did not see it happening. Once I saw how we were capitulating earlier in the second half of the season, it was just the flashpoints were there. Some people chose to ignore them. Most of you all in the chat did not ignore them. We were all on the same page, and that's what it's going to take next year is for a unified base to discuss exactly what needs to be done and needs to be rectified. We have consistently over the last few years, and even as Warren team, I was listening to Warren's team talk yesterday, and it goes back further than that for some of you all. And the club has gone total commercial, and it's just to a stage now where it's about making that money. And unfortunately, they fail to realize that competing and winning actually brings you money. they just want what we call residual forms of income. This is what Arsenal has turned into, a residual form of income club and a residual FC. And this is where we are. This is where we are. And for kudos to everybody who walked out that stadium yesterday. Now some of those top gooners, y'all just got to take it on the chin. Y'all should just stay there and put up with it because that's what y'all were calling for. Yeah, people at the stadium yesterday with banners talking about trust the process. We're 4 years into this thing, and they're still talking about trust the process. Early in the year, you saw Liverpool, they were starting to say, get Klopp out. You started hearing rumblings of that. And he had to sort it out. What did they do? First day of the January transfer window, what's the first thing they did? They went out and got Cody Gakpo. Bam, money on the table. Brought in a player. Rejuvenated that season. I mean, we sat right here, me and Tony, me and Gary, me and Lee. We sat right here and we talked about that January transfer window. The January transfer window is one of the exact reasons why we are in this mess. It's our lack of activity, of quality activity. We need quality players in this club. We need quality players. As DWTT said, there are levels. The rumor is that Newcastle are interested in Balogun and not our number 14. Yet Arsenal are happy to sell Balogun without a second thought. This is correct. You've got a player who is ripping it up, as Tony just said. It shouldn't even be up for discussion. He needs to be back next year and awarded opportunities to play. He's went off. He's performed well on his loan. And let's see what he can do. Don't have him play 4 games and then give him a $500,000 contract. No, he needs to get quality time next year so that we can actually see what we're working with. And do we need to bring this gentleman back? But all signs point to, I think, that it looks like it's pretty good to go. And then Tony Ibarra, Project Youth, but 3.5 years. Other than soccer, no ESR, which is we'll get to him in just a second. No other youth has come through our ranks. And Charlie Patino, the one that the savior, Charlie Patino, is asked for his to be relieved from Arsenal. That was supposed to be this he's supposed to be a up and coming player. What about this 15-year-old that Arteta brought out there? Huh? Where are these players at? Luca, here you go, brother. Here's the link. If you want to come on up and chat it up, brother. That's the link for you. I'm telling you, man. We are in dire straits. Everything at Arsenal is about being comfortable. Yes, comfortable FC, throwing away cup competitions, blowing the league. I'm telling you, in other clubs would not tolerate this behavior. Other clubs would not tolerate this type of behavior. Luca, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Hey, glad to have you up here, man. Yesterday was a classic example of shambolic behavior. And here we are once again. It's like I said to Tony, I don't know if you caught that earlier. If you were to go look at the track record from the last 3.5 years, it has been almost the same thing at the end of the year. We have bottled opportunity. We bottled 2 opportunities for 4th place. And then this year we bottled a big opportunity for 1st place. And people are walking around here, brother, and they're saying to themselves that this season was a success and that we can build on this for next year. Maybe, am I in dreamland? Am I missing something here, brother?
For me, right, look, I think it was a very disappointing performance yesterday because that performance was quite not good enough, in my opinion, because we had this manager, Mikel Arteta, pretty much put us 8 points clear, right? And we're in control position of winning this league title. For me, this manager, he's bottled it big time. How can you go from 8-point lead to go and drop points against West Ham, Southampton, Brighton? And Brighton, for me, every time when they come to the Emirates, they always beat us. And this manager, for me, like the Liverpool game at Anfield, why is he playing Zinchenko? Or why did he not make the substitution? You bought an experienced player like Jorginho, and then you got Kieran Tierney. Tierney, for me, would have cleared that from Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's 3 points. West Ham, Jesus wanted to take the penalty, but no, Saka wanted to take it. Jesus takes that. That's 3-1 Arsenal, game done. Southampton, Zinchenko makes the mistake on the 2nd goal. Walcott scores. Tierney plays. Tierney gets that. That's 3-2 Arsenal. This manager does not know how to game manage football matches. And yes, I can understand. Yes, he's taken us into a title race. That's all what we've been crying out for a long time. Yes, it's been a good season, but however, it's been a very disappointed season. Where are we going to be going now into the summer? I do not want to see no excuses from Edu, Arteta, because 2nd place for me may be good, but we want to be number 1. We want to be first. And no any other team who's been in this position has never, ever bottled a league title.
I mean, you saw the caption on the screen caption. In the history of the Premier League, no team has ever had that type of a lead and not won the title. Oh, except now that record has now been set by record-setting FC Arsenal. That's another record for Arteta. Arteta's broken all these. I've never seen a man break the wrong records. He's broke all of the wrong records, And here we are. We're sitting here, and we've got a fan base. We've got a certain set of fan base who are still running around saying that was a success. If that was over, because I heard overachieving too thrown around yesterday, Luca. If that's overachieving, then hell, I'd hate to see what success looks like, because we are in deep doo-doo. Deep doo-doo. I just, for me, man, I've just, like I told Tony, I saw over the hill. I saw it coming. For me personally, when we lost 3-1 to City early in the season, that's when I realized we weren't ready. Because if you're challenging, you're going to at least 1-1, 2-1, 1-0, something that's respectable. They came and slapped us both times. They 7-2 is, I think, if I did the math right, 7-2 Is what they beat us on this year. 7-2. That's what we got. That's damn near close to what we got beat playing Bayern Munich. I mean,
for me, it's embarrassing because now next season people could cry out, and this fan base all wants to believe and say, "Oh yeah, Mikel Arteta's doing this, doing that." Right? Stan Kroenke may have backed Mikel Arteta and since 2019, and we've spent 400 million right in total. 400 million has taken us to be in a title challenge, right? But people are still going to be crying their pants down, thinking, right, okay, this manager's going to do it again next season. Because would you give this manager next season? For me,
I told Lee yesterday.
Yeah,
me and Gunnar talked yesterday off camera, and we both are on the same page on this. He thinks he's going to be gone. He thinks he's going to be gone by Christmas. I'm gonna go a step further. I think he won't make it to November. I don't think he's gonna make it in November.
I reckon the way it is now, I reckon he'll be here for another season. Like, how much of it pains for me? Like, I don't want this manager to be here next season, because for me, he's had yes, he's done very well. That's great. Okay, he has been the manager recently who's actually put us into a position in a title race. But how are we supposed to believe in this manager and the board are going to go out and do the requirements in the summer? We need 2 midfielders. Go and get Calcedo. Go and get Declan Rice. I don't want to hear no excuses. Oh, if we're going to get this Real Sociedad midfielder, that's it. Our midfield is done. We're in the Champions League next season for the first time in 7 seasons. And I don't want this manager coming out, Matt, making excuses. Oh, that's it. We've got our midfielder. It's done. We've got El Neni coming back next season. Yeah, it's a good signing. Yeah, it's a new signing. We've got Jorginho.
Yeah.
No, we need 2 quality midfielders because Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey, despite Xhaka's had a good season, and Partey for me, these 2 are not getting any younger. We need fresh blood in the midfield. Go and get Declan Rice and Calcedo. If we want to be ambitious and continue what we're doing and be acting like a big club, next season what needs to be acquired is to go and get the 2 midfielders what we need, what the fans want to cry out, and start acting like a big club. You cannot just lay back and just accept, right, okay, second place, no trophies. Because if this situation happens again, but this fan base just wants to suck it all in and just be excited and just be like, okay, let's just take second place and win no trophy. No, the aim for an elite sport is to win trophies.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I want to win. Like, if we get knocked out of Champions League group stages, right, then it proves that we're not ready for the Champions League. And then if he goes and wins the Europa League in second, fair enough, that's a good season. But for me, you've got to get us challenging again. It's no good having one season wonders like the Leicester season, what we had 7-8 years ago, and then Emery comes in. For me, I kind of regret that we got rid of Unai Emery in a way, because he's doing well at Aston Villa.
He had no time, and that was one of the things that upset me, man, was the fact that it was the English barrier. It was the fact that he didn't have enough time, and then he asked. Now people forget this too. Anthony, thanks for joining, brother. How are you doing this morning, my friend? Well, afternoon.
I'm not too bad, Matt. And you? Big up, Luca.
Hello, man. You're right.
So I think what people fail to realize about Emery was Emery specifically wanted to bring in Zaha. Instead, we end up going the other way, and we bring in Pepe, who by all who looked decent when we got him, and then Arteta comes in and shatters any form of confidence, and so now we've got a $72 million paperweight, who, by the way, is on loan and will be back in the summer. That's another one that needs to be sold, brother. We have got to do wholesale surgery in this team in the summer. We've got to do wholesale surgery. You look at the players. They told us a couple years ago, they said that they were going to not let players run down contracts. Well, Reece Nelson is going to be gone. Maitland-Niles is now he is officially worth nothing now. Then you've got players like Pepe. Then you've got, like you said, Xhaka. Then you've got Jorginho, 30 plus. You got Partey, 30 plus. El Neni, 30 plus. These are midfielders. Midfield is one of the most challenging positions to play over 30. Trust me, I'm 40. I know, because I used to play midfield. It's a hard position to play once you get in your 30s, because you don't have the legs to do all that ripping and running back and forth. And then you look at our strike force. You got Jesus. Did you see yesterday? We're trying to lump balls into the box for Jesus. Lumping balls into the box for Jesus to jump up. Who is these giants? Dunk. All these guys, these giants, and he's supposed to jump up there and hit that. We need to be spending money on a real striker. I want a striker like when I saw Edin Dzeko last week at Inter Milan in that Champions League, move somebody out of the way, put the ball in the back of the net, and then you go about your business. We have got weak, soft, flailing. Did you see all the flailing this year? Nobody brings it up. All of our strikers are falling over, looking for cards, begging for calls. You know, we need men in this team. We don't have men in the team, gentlemen. We don't have grown men. We have young men who play like young men. Where are the hard men? Where are the Gattuso type men? Men that strike fear into other players. When our team when y'all get a chance, go back and look at the lead out as the players come onto the pitch. They don't respect our players. When Henry and Perez and Bergkamp and all them dudes was in the tunnel, it was like, oh shit, we're getting ready to get our ass whipped. They look over there. And see Odegaard and them dudes. They're like, oh yeah, we in for a shot on this, man. Me personally, I think we've got to do some wholesale changes, and we've got to spend some money. We've got to spend money, not just spend money, Luca and Anthony, but spend money on quality.
But the thing is, we've got to spend money on quality of players. There's no point getting these Mr. Nice guys, because I watched your fan cam yesterday with Lee, and I think Lee was saying, or it might have been you or Jez was saying about, oh, why are we spending 34 million on people like Fabio Vieira, where, quite frankly, we're buying these players where we're not even using them. Yeah. It's like, for me, we did it under the previous manager's rule. It comes down to these owners, and for me, it's got to be done. If you are going to be spending money of that sort of caliber, you've got to spend it if you're going to be using these players for squad depth, because there's no way Fabio Vieira ain't leaving in the summer. Because nobody is going to pay that sort of money, and we're going to be having a player like that in the Champions League. For me, we were crying out for Tielemans last year, right? And now, okay, fair enough, Tielemans is probably not on our radar now because it's old school. But we were crying out for this midfielder last year. Why did we not get it? It was cheap. And then we let him run down his then Leicester let him run down his contract. And we're stuck with people like Vieira, Holding, El Neni, all these players. And I'm thinking these players are not squad depth. They're not good enough. This is why we're not going to win the league, right, with these owners and this board and this manager in charge.
And that's why I said that you got to get rid. If you get rid of one, you got to get rid of all of them, because they're all in this together. Anthony, what's your thoughts on this? As far as us get ready to go into the summer and what we need to bring in and players that need to go. What's your thoughts on that, brother?
Well, you got to look at the concepts of this season, aren't you? To start off with, we obviously need better players. Like I said in the chat earlier, this season we spent a combined 160 million pounds. 160. We finished 5th last season, so to a certain extent, from finishing 5th and having 160 million pounds to spend, Arteta was roughly backed by the Cronkies. We got to admit that, haven't we? We have, right? Now going into next season, I was laughed at when I said that Arsenal need to spend in a region of 250 million pounds. We did. It's that simple. And everybody's talking about Declan Rice, good player, brilliant. Is he worth the 120 million? Some people are saying he is. Some people are saying he's not. Stadium from Brighton, people are saying about 140 to 150 million. But listen, this is Arsenal Football Club we're talking about. We are not going to be spending 150 million pound on one player. That's a fact. I've been a Arsenal fan. I've been following Arsenal since 1984. Up until now, we've never done that. Our dearest player was Pepe, like what you said. You bought him up. Look at him and how he was treated by Mikel Arteta. Bought him by Unai Emery. Was given loads of chances. He was decent when he first come in, but now we've got to look at what we've got to address now. There's talks of people don't obviously want Rob Holding. I agree with that. He's absolutely rubbish. Elneny, he's 32 now. He doesn't play, so he's going to be gone. There's talk of Granit Xhaka going to over to Germany. He's going to cost in the region between 12 to 15 million pounds, I read. Also, there's talks of Tomiyasu. He could be leaving as well. And the player that they are after to replace Tomiyasu is the Leicester City right back, the Belgium. What's his name? Because you might know him.
I can't even think of his name now. I know who you're talking
It's
about.
Castege or something like
Yeah.
that.
That's yeah. Like they're on about, but he's on about bringing him in.
But is he the answer though? Is he the answer though? Because quite frankly, Leicester have been shocking in defence.
Yeah, I mean that's
right back. The right back.
Go ahead, Luca. Go ahead.
The right back who I'll take is Dumfries.
You know, my biggest concern with our transfer policy is we never aim for the best. And this goes all the way back to Wenger, y'all. This goes back to Wenger. You remember Andre Santos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We never go get the top. I think the one defensive player that Arsenal that Wenger we got lucky on was Bakary Sagna. And that we got lucky on. We got lucky on a few of his transfer. But as far as saying, you know what, we're gonna go out and get like you look at Chelsea. People can say what they want to say, but Chelsea went right out there and got Thiago Silva. Quite frankly, if they didn't get Thiago Silva, they'd probably be in worse shape than they already are in. But they went out and got somebody who has been around the block a few times, knows what it's like to be in high pressure situations, a proven international player, played on the largest stages, won champion trophies galore, and a quality player. Arsenal, we go get unproven players from washed leagues from the 6th division of Portuguese football. We'll go and pay them top dollar, gentlemen, top dollar. And then they come here and they sell them as if they are the next biggest thing, a.k.a. Vieira. We have got major holes in this team. If Kieran Tierney leaves this team next year, man, which I think is going to happen, we are in deep doo-doo because Zinchenko is not what we need. He is not a defender. This inverted.
Zinchenko's a midfielder, Matt. He's more of a midfielder. Hence why Man City put him in lots of different positions. Because Zinchenko, for me, why is Arteta not started Tierney a few weeks ago? Zinchenko defensively is not good enough. Don't get me wrong. I like Zinchenko's passion. Don't get me wrong. When he encourages the team, but defensively, he is a liability.
Trouble is, Luca, we discussed this, didn't we, on Friday on my show?
Yeah, we did.
And with Shevchenko, left back, he was in that position when he played for Man City. He was always going forward, right? Now, you've got to look at it this way. I've seen it when you've watched games. You've most probably seen it as well. When Shevchenko, he goes forward into that midfield, right? So that means our centre-backs then are pulled out of position. They're drifting over to the left. And then Thomas Partey, he's got to come in and back to a centre-back's position. Now, that shouldn't be happening. Why is that happening? This is what he's done at Man City. Arteta thinks he could do the same for Arsenal. But the only reason why he did that for Man City was because Man City, he had all the players around him. The class, the quality, the world-class players. We haven't got that at Arsenal. So basically, Arteta should be telling him not to go much forward, right, and get into midfield, to stay back. And then if that's the case, why not play like Kieran Tierney and exploit that wing? Overlap Martinelli. Give it a free roll. Give it a free roll. Martinelli's not knackering himself out for 90 minutes, and neither Zinchenko. That Zinchenko for him from left back going into that middle of midfield, to me, is frustrating. And it's not. And do you know what? I'll give you a prime example. That game against Chelsea, when Chelsea scored that goal, they got that goal because they attacked from the left-hand side. There was no one on the left-hand side of the pitch because Zinchenko was so that far forward he couldn't hardly get back. So
you're right, Ant, because see, that's what happened in the Newcastle game. Was it Newcastle? I think.
Yeah.
They came out at halftime. They came right out of the gate, and they immediately went to Zinchenko's side because they knew that was going to be a problem area that they could exploit. Every team in the league started to realize, oh, we'll just go after Zinchenko, and now he's become a direct. You know, I was joking with a friend of mine I play footy with on Sundays, and he's a Arsenal fan as well. And I said, you know, Zinchenko is becoming what Ibue used to be, where everybody would go right at Ibue because they knew he would be the one that would screw up and do something foolish and put us in a jam. And so now you got Zinchenko doing that. I've maintained this whole ordeal with him through the last several weeks here. Put him in midfield and let him lead the attack because we actually move pretty good when he's attacking. But as far as defending, it's like Lucas said, Tierney should have been starting from day one. He should have been right there locking it down because he was able to sort out major problems that Zinchenko just has trouble doing. Gentlemen, let's welcome my good brother.
Yes, bro. What's cracking like it?
What's up, brother? I saw you in the chat yesterday, man. I saw you in the chat, boy. I saw it. That pain. I know you was holding on and holding on, and the pain finally got you yesterday, man.
Oh,
how you doing today, bro?
But you know what though, bro? Like, I'm not with this. You know, like I'll be real, bro. I'll keep it real with you. I'm not with this Zinchenko thing because yesterday, without Zinchenko, forget that we can't even string a pass together. And when you can't string a pass together up front, you can't defend together. Because you're putting too much pressure on defense. Yesterday, fans ain't gonna like this, but we missed Zinchenko yesterday. Everyone's been calling for Tini. Okay, that's fair enough. But yesterday, do you want to know a staggering fact? That was the worst defeat of our season. Bullied, outplayed. Couldn't even look. The goalkeeper couldn't even kick the ball out. That's how bad it was. So Zinchenko, I know everyone gives him his clearly negative due, but then you gotta bear in mind yesterday had nothing to do with Zinchenko because he wasn't even on the pitch.
You know what? You know something that I'm glad you brought that up. You brought passing back. Yes, let me bring this up. This is something I don't want to see a lot of next year either. I hate this passing out of the passing from the back stuff. Did y'all notice yesterday when we would go for it and we would get into position and then we would just stop and just pass it back and put ourselves under pressure? It happened against Newcastle. It's happened against most of the teams we played this year. This passing from the back. And Ramsdale is the type of person, he's cool until pressure starts. He starts getting pressure. And y'all saw that third goal yesterday. When that pressure gets put on him. We have got to really look at a lot. We got a lot of problem areas in this team, y'all. We got a lot of problem areas. We need players, like you said, we got bullied around in midfield. This is why I say Zinchenko for me needs to be in midfield. We need players that can make a direct pass and go straight to a hole and bang. Saka should have been set down. He is another player for the last month. Last month has not been up to snuff. Anthony, I think it was you brought it up. He took ever since that he took that was the PK. It's not been the same. It's not been he really hadn't been the same since the World Cup. The boy has got the tread is off the tires. He should have been set down. We should have. Reece Nielsen came on yesterday. Reece Nielsen comes on and goes directly to the goal. Bam, shot on goal. I mean, it's almost Prince. It's just like, what was Arteta watching? I looked at the substitutions yesterday, and it was just like, what are we doing out there? It's just like he's just throwing anything that could just stick on the ball.
Do you know what the downfall happened? To be honest with you, like people say, oh, like me, I respect every footballer. I don't rate every footballer, but I respect every footballer. Like, obviously, in football, there's levels to the game. But one thing our fan base didn't like, and I clocked with realized about our fan base, they like to blame the players who actually kept us in the title race. Now, all the fan base was screaming, I can't wait for Jesus to come back. I can't wait for this guy to come back. But you got to bear in mind, Jesus, when he got back, nothing happened, but we just went downhill. Because when you had Trossard, Eddie Nketiah, Martinelli and Saka playing together, for some reason, we were always finding a way. And in that game against United, and I go back to that game, and people say, why'd you go back? Because we were under a lot of pressure, and if United would have drew with us or beat us, they would have either leapfrogged us, or Man City would have just gone on from there and just won a title in maybe early February. But they didn't. They never give up. They fought. And after that, they went on some magic. It's like if you notice, like when Trossard was playing and Martinelli and Saka, there was something going on. And even when they threw in the Eddie Nketiah in there was something wrong because they were playing as a team. And when our team got us into the title race and actually kept us in the title race, Trossard was player of the month. He was outstanding. You don't get 3 assists in one half, and like then you get dropped. Eddie just got dropped. He got dropped, and he said, "You are Matt Jesus is back. Let's go back to the thing. Then they crumbled against Liverpool. They crumbled against West Ham. They crumbled against Southampton. So the fans who all said, I couldn't wait for Jesus to come back. They need to explain why. What was you waiting for? Jamie, when everyone was like, oh, Jesus, I said, I was saying it, innit, Lucas? What was I saying?
Yeah.
I was saying it from the start. Keep it how it is. I know Eddie don't score goals, but one thing he's doing, they're playing as a team and it's getting it. And Saka's finding a way. Martinelli's finding a way. Trossard was finding them every time. It's like Trossard can see what Eddie's going to do before even Eddie's going to do it. And like that goal against Man United, same with Martinelli, same with Saka. And when it was working and the format was like, and even then, you got to bear in mind, these are the players that got us 8 points clear.
8
It wasn't the players who come back. So then what happens then is he goes back, brings his 7-11. Instead of looking at form, he went with his favoritism.
Yeah.
What happens, favoritism? You drop points. You lose the first game. You draw the second game. You draw the third game. Draw the fourth game. Then you can expect the players who got you there to come on. Like yesterday, you're throwing on Martinelli. You're throwing on Eddie Nketiah. You're throwing on Reece Nelson. You're throwing on Trossard. They've been sat out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
They're the ones who got you that 8 points clear. They're the ones who kept you in the title race. So a lot of fans, I know they give these players a lot of stick, but then at the same time, fans got to be honest. Yo, these are the players who actually kept us in the title race.
You know, Prince. One of the things that one of my biggest complaints about Arteta is his inability to see what works. And then he goes directly, as you stated, he goes directly away. I've been telling people for the longest, Trossard should have been starting. This is why he stunk yesterday. You pulled him out of starting when he was on form. A player was on form. He's on form. You pull him, and then now you want him to be your savior. And that was inadvertent yesterday. I don't even think he would have got in that to the second half yesterday if Martinelli hadn't got hurt. And that's that. And like you said, he's got his favorites. And Saka is one of his favorites. He thinks Saka is going to, no matter if I leave him on the pitch, he's going to win the game at all times. And this guy was scuffling. He's been scuffling for the last month. I mean, realistically, we all know they're not getting rid of Arteta. It would shock me. I'd come on and do a 24-hour show, telethon if they got rid of him this summer. So we know that ain't happening. But the reality of the situation is that this guy has to sit down. He needs to go back. He needs to review. If I were him, I would review every game and look at what he made mistakes. And I've told people at the beginning of the season, if Gary's in the chat, if DWTT is still in the chat, he'll tell you, I said, you're going to have to go on this stupid roller coaster with Arteta because he's inexperienced, where we got to go up and down and up and down because of his tactical noviceness. And here we are once again. It's like I told Luca when you came on, if you close your eyes and I told you we were not battling for second place, and I told you we were battling for fourth, you would have thought we saw the same exact thing that we saw last year, the year before that, and the year before that. We're having this problem, and when I see a problem where you keep repeating the same thing, then something has to be addressed. Something has to be addressed. This coming year, and I'm going to say this now in front of all you all. This coming year is going to be one of the most important years in Arsenal's history.
100%.
Because we're going to either sink or swim. No pun intended about the fish. We're going to have to get our act in order. The adults are going to have to come in the room, and we're going to have to be ready to compete. I told Ola Saturday, this is my expectations for next year. I expect Arsenal Football Club to challenge on every front. I don't care what trophy it is. I don't care. We're going first trophy out of the gate. We're going to be challenging for is the Community Shield, and guess who will be playing in the Community Shield next year, y'all? I don't want to hear about City. We should be challenging out of the gate starting next year, because we should take everything that we're competing in serious next year. There's no fish to fry, none of that stupid stuff. It's about bringing home silverware. And I'm going to hold Edu responsible. I want to see him, or if they're going to keep him here, because they're 9 times out of 10, we dealing reality over here. They're probably going to keep him. Anthony, I feel like we need to be bringing in quality players that can push current players out of their position. That's me, Anthony. I'm going to let you talk on that, brother.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You know, you need to. But what people are forgetting next season, this is Arteta's 5th season in charge. One trophy in 5 years. Now, with Arsenal Football Club, that is crap. Seriously, is absolutely crap. Going back on like years ago, how Arsenal used to play. Now, next season, he needs to go out. He needs to try and go for and win that Premier League. We ain't going to win the Champions League. That's a fact. If we get to round 16, stroke quarterfinals, a decent run in the Champions League, I'm happy with that. Because we ain't going to win it. We ain't got the team to win it, right? Because we bombed out Europa League this season, right? So all we can win, all we got to set our sights on is the league and maybe an FA Cup, right? I know it sounds stupid, but we ain't going to win the Champions League. So let's work on those 2 trophies. So that'd be 3 trophies in 5 years. That's not too bad, right? That's better than what it's been over like the last decade or so, right? So this is what Arteta's got to think. And he's got to think that at the beginning of the season, middle of the season, and towards the end of the season as well. But yeah, I've been here for 5 years, I've won 1 trophy. Because I'll tell you something now. If he don't win a trophy, he should be gone. And he will be gone, in my opinion. I know there's people out there that likes Arteta. I mean, I was a fan of Mikel Arteta when he first come in. Luca could tell you. We've had so many chats about this, about Mikel Arteta being manager of Arsenal. He wasn't. I've now, this season, started leaning towards Arteta, saying, well, hang on, he's not doing a bad job this season. But now, next season is the key for me. He needs to bring in top quality players. We ain't going to get both Declan Rice. We ain't going to get Casey. We're not going to get both of them next season. He ain't going to spend Arsenal would never spend £150 million on one player.
And that's the problem.
That's yeah. They won't do it.
You know,
right? So who do you think they'll bring in? They'll bring in one or the other. So you'll either get Casado or you get Rice. But I tell you what, if we don't get any of them, what's wrong with going out and spending say 50, 60 million? Let's get McAllister from Brighton.
Yeah, I know, and he wasn't. You know what? He wasn't playing Champions League football. He's on the market for 17 million and thing. But one thing about Arsenal, see, this is the problem with Arsenal, and this is why I never take any transfer seriously, even though how positive I am. And Matt to tell you, and Luca tell you, I'm positive. But when it comes to the transfers, I don't believe Arsenal. I don't even think we're linked with Declan Rice. I don't think we're linked with Casado. I don't even think I'll give you a prime fact. A fact. We were linked with Tillsman, Husamawa, for how long? Husamawa was a free agent. If Arsenal really wanted him, the man being a free agent, he went and just signed for AC Roma for the last 2 years. Husamawa. We were linked with him. We wanted him. We're this. All these come in. Oh, Husamawa. Bro, he was on a free agent. We never got him. Tillsman, we're linked with him. Tillsman's on a free. Why are these players coming through the door if on a free if we really wanted them? So that's why when it comes to like we're linked with Declan Rice, till they come through the door and I see a photograph with the top on and they've signed that contract, I believe it. But when it comes, I linked with this, linked with that, linked with this, I don't believe it. No. Because of that reason. No. Like Husamawa is a prime example. And then Matt, how long would it say? Husamawa. Final daily that. Husamawa.
Yeah. I'll do you one better. And I asked the same question I asked Ola on Saturday. What player that's a world-class player of high caliber has Edu got over the line?
None.
No. I mean, that is shocking in itself, y'all. Look at all these players. Like he said, look at all the players we've been linked with. You couldn't even get Tielemans for a cut price deal. If $5 to $10 million or whatever, you know, something. You had Seth Sato. They said we want 90. You show up with 60. You know, what's his name was dancing all over the place for us. Mudryk. You know, y'all claim y'all wanted Mudryk. And then he danced, you know, all over the place. Hey, come sign me, Arsenal. Come sign me. And then he shows up with pennies on the dollar. I mean, questions need to be asked about this transfer policy. I'll say it again. I don't want the team coming to the United States with this same team. If July 23rd or whatever shows up and we have the same team that we got now and it's showing up with the reserve players and they say, well, hey, this is the team that's coming to play represent. I will stop the plane at JFK Airport or wherever they're coming in at. I will stop the plane and tell them to turn it back around until they come in with quality players. It's enough is enough of this, man. Luca's been preaching about it.
I can't see it, Matt. Who's that? I'd say who we were going to sign. It'd be that who was that young Brazilian we signed? What's his name? He went out on loan.
Yeah. I forgot he was even in the team.
Yeah, and you know what? Lokonga, he's coming back from Crystal Palace to Arsenal as well. So that's another DM. Do you know what? It's going to be a poor transfer window. It'd be one brilliant signing, and the rest of them would be poor, like always.
Go ahead,
And
Luke.
we'd be up at 11 o'clock for that last hour, the transfer window on the last day, and we're going, right, last hour to go. And then suddenly, boom, the transfer window's ended, and we've got no one on that last day. It'd be the same.
It wouldn't actually surprise me what we're going to do, because then they'll come out and say the excuse when Mohamed El Neni gets fully fit, it'll just be like a new signing, and then because we're in the Champions League for the first time in 7 years, you need a bigger squad to compete with the elite. So therefore, that's why we need 2 midfielders. And do I believe, and I agree with Prince Fawad, do I believe that we're going to be linked with Declan Rice and Calcedo? No, because I want to wait to see if it gets done.
Exactly.
Because we need to sign a right back.
This is right.
Tommy Yasu's going. Tommy Yasu's going to be gone. So that's a right back we need to sign. Ball might Rob Holding because he ain't no good. So that's a centre back. And if Granit Xhaka goes, that's a DM. That's the 3 priorities on our list at the back.
We need 2 midfielders and a backup centre back. And if Tommy Yasu leaves, we're probably going to need a right back as well. So that's pretty much our whole team.
But people are saying about a striker. I can't see a striker coming in because we got so many attacking options with Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, Trossard, Eddie Nketiah.
But when you say that, despite we do need a striker, is the striker really a proper issue though? Because quite frankly, midfield is probably the best priority we should get, and a defence. Because I think
it's like if they're gonna buy a striker, right? It's like what Man United did. It's like if you're gonna go and get Ivan Toney, go and get him now. Yep. Don't waste time. Go and get him now, because at the end of the day, if you're gonna, it's like yesterday we are for some reason. If it wasn't just me, I was watching the game. It looked like we were just lumping the ball up front.
I brought it up before you got on. Prince. I said we were just hoofing the ball, and you know, this is what 5'8".
Do you know one thing about I noticed about Gabriel Jesus? We bought him as every Arsenal fan can understand. We bought him as a striker, but he doesn't play striker. To me, he plays like defensive, right defensive, left defensive, centre half, whatever he is. He's everywhere.
Yeah,
we need that's when people figure out. It's like when you're Lewis Dunk, okay, you're Lewis Dunk, and you're a defender. If you ever played defense, I used to like when you play defense. If you're a defender, you play any kind of football. When you know the striker's not coming at you, you got a day off.
Yeah,
he had a day off. Lewis Dunk, and what do you do? He didn't have much to do, bro. They might as well got him a Costa coffee, got him a chair, and have a sit down.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It's funny you bring it up because I play old man soccer. I still play football here, and we had a game yesterday. My team lost. We were losing like 6-0, and I scored 4 goals in 5 minutes. And everybody was like, "Oh well, we gotta shut this man down quick because you know when you can strike fear into folks, you know people you have to be taken into account. We have our strikers. It's like, oh well, we know what Saka's gonna do. We'll just force him to the right. Odegaard, we'll just move him around. Martinelli's not gonna get his head up, so we'll just stay in front of him. And then, like you said, with Jesus, he can't get the ball in the air, so we know how to just deal with it.
Yeah,
and we need a big man. We need a strong big man that can be physical in the box. We need somebody that we can go from stop trying to cut passes through teams to where balls can go over the top, ding, like Haaland scoring that goal yesterday. That's what we need. When I saw Haaland hit that ball, that's what we need right there. Somebody that the game is all over the place, and then all of a sudden 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Good night. We'll see y'all later. That's what we need.
Trouble is though, guys, I don't think I look at that, and every time when we play that formation, and I've never been keen on that formation 4-3-3. I hate it. I don't like it because you've got the depth, but sometimes you lack in a bit of width, right? So what I'm saying is, Arteta always plays that. When he turns up, he's predictable. And all these other managers of different teams are predicting him because Arteta's got a plan A, but he's never got a plan B. So that's it. So,
do you know what I was going to say, Matt? Do you know what I was going to say? All right, Lucas and Anthony. Do you know what I was going to say? Do you know what I said? Do you know when he first started and he played that like that boring paramedic football, like that boring like defensive football. And that's when he first started, and they were quite hard to break down. I would have played that system in the last 4 or 5 games, because when we first started, when he first came into the Arsenal, he was actually playing defensive football, and they were actually defending all right. Even though we were conceding goals, but he was playing with crap defenders. I don't know how. You went from you were playing attacking football, but sometimes, Mikel, go back. I think if you would have played that boring football, and when we figured out like last year, we nicked a 1-0 win against Burnley, then we nicked another 1-0 win. If we would have done that in the last 3 games, once that system you played at start, I personally think we would have won the title. But then teams figure this out, like Matt was saying, like you were all saying, that inverted. I don't blame Zinchenko as much as I blame Arteta, because what is Zinchenko's got a role to do, but it's down to him to say, you know what, you've done. Like I would have said in the last 5 games, Zinchenko done his job, take him off, let Keane come on for the last half an hour and defend.
Yeah,
because Zinchenko was, but then we all know, even me, I admit, Zinchenko going back is terrible, but it ain't down to us and all that. It's down to the manager to see that.
Yeah,
we
this
can all
is what
see that.
me and Manny keep saying. Me and Manny keep saying he's playing the 4-3-3.
But everyone blames Zinchenko for it. Why are you blaming the man who's actually, I've inverted, I've got the 2 goals, come off.
Yeah.
Come on. And then I think that would have played it better towards the fans and all that. But when people just blame Zinchenko, I think they should blame Arteta, because he can't defend.
No, but we were playing the 4-2-3-1 formation. We played the one up front, and then we had Saka and Martinelli out on the wings, which was going forward anyway. And then we had Partey and Xhaka at the back, protecting the defence line, and saw Odegaard had that free role in the middle. Now, that free role in the middle, what Odegaard was having, to me, that's like a Dennis Bergkamp position. You've got that creator there in midfield that can ping balls out left, right, in the middle, score goals yourself. But with Odegaard scoring 15 goals this season, you can't fault him for that. So he's brilliant. So that's brilliant. Yeah. But this is what I'm saying: the 4-3-3. Why would you play 2 DMs of Partey, Xhaka, and Odegaard next to him?
Yeah.
That 3 in midfield. What's it doing? It doesn't work. And if you notice, Partey has gone downhill a bit. Playing that role, he's gone down. He's not playing to his strengths in that formation. Play 4-2-3-1, and we'll see a different Thomas Partey. I'm telling you now.
But it's like me and Matt was saying in December, throw Zinchenko in the middle. He is so, he is technically, and the way he strikes a ball, he strikes it like an attacking player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He don't strike a ball like a defender. He strikes a ball like he's an attacking player.
Yeah.
Look, we've got a lot of work to do, y'all. We've got a lot of work.
We have, but the part of it to blame is Edu. I feel Edu's to blame. I don't think this season you could blame the Cronkies, because it's like what he said. He's had 160 million to spend this season. We finished 5th last season, so in all fairness, that's not bad money to spend, is it? 160 million this season.
Well, my problem is not the money being spent; it's where the money is being spent. That's
the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, you go spend. You get 100. If you only got 100 million to work with, what are you spending 100 million on? What are you spending it on? That's the question that needs to be asked. I think too many of our fans are just, they're just excited to see signings instead of seeing quality signings. I'm a person that if you're going to spend the money, spend it on quality. If it's one player that can get us over the line, then you spend the money on that one player that can get us over the line. Go back to the year Leicester won the title when Arsene Wenger didn't buy one outfield player. All we needed to buy was one outfield player, and we probably would have had a different season, or a one extra striker when Giroud went cold, and we probably having a whole nother discussion. But gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to scoot. Look, I have thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you all this morning, and this would not be the last time we all chat. We're gonna have to all do this again, man. I have had a blast listening to each and every one of you. Prince, I appreciate you stopping through. Tell everybody where they can find you at, brother.
You can find me on Prince Fuad TV on YouTube and on Instagram, Prince Fuad.
Brother Anthony, where can everybody find you at, brother?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at my name at Anthony Herbert. You can also find me on Friday nights at 9 o'clock. I host a show. It's called Gunners from All Corners. Luca was on there Friday, and we was having a good chat and a good debate about this team. and Mikel Arteta. But yeah, that's where you can find me. All Arsenal related. Good stream, bit of debate, but we have a good laugh as well.
Yep. And Luca, tell everybody. I know where they can find you at, but tell everybody where they can find you at, brother.
Yeah, and the channel's pretty much right there. Subscribe to my channel, Luca AFC. We did a match reaction from yesterday's game. This week we're going to be doing the Nottingham Forest match, build up to that, do a preview, and I do a top 6 show every Friday night just to discuss about all last week's games, the upcoming games. So subscribe to the channel and feel free if anyone would like to come on.
All right, quickly before we roll out rapid fire, Luca, the score on this weekend. What's the score? What you got?
2-1 Arsenal.
Prince, what you got, bro?
Oh, I'm gonna go Arsenal about 3-0. No pressure. That's it. 3-0, isn't it?
Anthony, what you got?
Against Forest, I'll say 3-0 as well.
I'm gonna go 4-0. As Prince just said, no pressure FC is gonna show up. We're gonna see world class football on Saturday. Everybody's gonna be wondering, well, where was this at? But, it's that time of the year, y'all. When the sun comes out, grass is green. Arsenal, they roll through these teams, man, with no pressure's on. So, and it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame, y'all. But don't be blinded by this success this coming weekend. Don't be blinded by it. It's down here in the South. We've got a term called fool's gold, and that's what that is. That is textbook fool's gold, which you're getting ready to see the next 2 weeks. So, gentlemen, thank you once again for joining. Anthony, make sure you leave your information in the private chat there so I can subscribe and link up with you, man. Luca, we'll do this. Prince, we're gonna be doing it, man.
We will.
Thanks for
100%, bro. 100%.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Peace. If I can find the outro, there we go.